was a girl who would always play adopt me after school. One day she got back home from school. She noticed her parents weren't here because they went to go buy dinner, so she got her tablet and started to play adopt me like she always did. By the way, her name was Lily. When Lily entered Roblox, she saw that none of her friends were active. Then she got a message from her friend saying, "Are you going to join me?" She texted back, "You're not active." Her battery was at 52%, but it suddenly turned off and the lights in her room turned off. She was confused because her tablet wasn't connected to a charger or anything. She turned back her tablet, but the lights in her room were still not working. So she used the flashlight of her tablet to see because her house didn't have windows. The kitchen was the only place where it had windows, but she didn't want to go there because it creeped her out. After a few minutes of playing Adopt Me, she went to go get something from her backpack. When she got what she needed, she saw that no players were in Adopt Me anymore. She was confused, but she started to do what she was doing. Then her pet was full grown to make a neon, so she went to the place to make Neon's pet. She heard something crack from her kitchen. She went to go look what it was and she saw a plate on the floor. She picked it up, but when she was picking up the plate, she heard another sound coming from her basement. She got her flashlight from her book bag and then she saw something very creepy. Here is the video.
We were in class. I was in band at the time, and the classroom phone rang, and the teacher went and he answered the phone. He got really serious. He got this really concerned, shocked look on his face, and he hung it up and he turned to us and he said, "Everybody sit down, be quiet. The bell's going to ring in a couple minutes. You're going to stay seated." And then he went over to the doors and he locked them. And we were just like, oh shit, what is happening? And at first some of us were like, well, is it a bomb threat? Because we used to get bomb threats all the time, but then we realized that doesn't make sense because when we get a bomb threat, they evacuate us. And then we're like, is there some type of killer in the school? Is there a weather alert? Is there a terrorist attack? And none of us knew anything. The teacher wouldn't answer any questions. He was told not to. And the bell rang. We all stayed seated and we sat there for a really, really long time, and then the next bell rang, which means a whole other class period had passed, and still he said stay seated. And I can't tell you how long we were trapped in this room and nobody was telling us what was going on. We're all getting really scared and panicking.
Story time! In my old school, I was in a friend group of 5 girls, including me. Annie, Camila, Jenna, and Emily. We were all like best friends and always had sleepovers on Fridays or on the weekend. But Camila always said that she couldn't make it because she had soccer practice. We all said, it's okay, you'll come next time, even though she never came, and we never thought anything about it. Until one Wednesday afternoon at lunch when Emily went to the bathroom. We were all like, oh my god, we should totally throw her a slumber party for her birthday next week Friday. And everybody said yes, of course, and we all started planning it. But of course, Camila said, sorry, I have soccer practice, I can't make it. And me, as a straightforward person I am, said, you really can't miss one soccer practice for your best friend's birthday party? She of course felt really, really bad and said, okay, fine, I'll go. We were all super happy, but that was obviously a really bad idea.
I absolutely hate when you're like in English class or something and your teacher is just simply explaining your task to you. But then you decide to start a very loud conversation with your best friend. She notices you and your teacher gives you that look that really says no. She's like, oh wait. You both look at her like, I'm so sorry. Was my lesson interrupting your conversation? It's fine, guys. Seriously, I'll wait. I'm like, thank you, sister. Because I've still got to go through all the drama with my best friend. And last time I checked, you were teaching in our...
Part 2 of my last story time. So the day comes of Emily's birthday and we go to her house and we set up all the decorations, the piñata, the cake, all the arts and crafts, all the activities and everything. And when we arrive, like, we surprise her, and we do all the activities, we eat cake, we do the piñata, we eat a bunch of stuff, and then it starts getting pretty late. So we decide, oh my god, let's go upstairs and, like, watch scary movies and tell scary stories, and let's bring all the candy. So we went upstairs with, like, all the candy, like, a bunch of candy, and we all set up our, like, movie spot, and we start watching scary movies and telling scary stories. Everybody gets pretty tired, and we're all like, yeah, I'm going to bed. Yeah, me too. But for some reason, Camila was like, no, guys, let's pull an all-nighter. But that night, something very scary happened. Part 3 of the Camila story time. In the middle of the night, I hear a noise, so I decide to get up because I had to go to the bathroom anyways. I see that a bucket of Twizzlers were tipped over. I thought, oh, maybe someone else also had to go to the bathroom. Let me go look for them. And while I'm leaving the room, I see that Camila is the only one who's not in her sleeping bag. I go to the nearest bathroom and I check if anyone's in there, and there's no one in there. I really had to go to the bathroom, so I got inside and I did my business, and while I was doing my business, I heard a door slam. After I finished doing my business, I got up and I started looking for Camila in all the bathrooms because Emily's house was really, really big. I go look around in the other bathrooms and there's no one in them. I decide to go back upstairs and wake up Annie, Emily, and Jenna. We all start searching the house, but we can't find Camila anywhere. At this moment, we were all scared that she had gotten kidnapped. Then we go into Camila's parents' bedroom and we see...
I remember when I was about 5 and there was this girl in my class and she pretended she was like a child model and a child actress, and nobody really like contradicted her for it, because when you're 5 you just believe anything anyone says. And she had this really big like ginger hair, and it was so pretty. And yeah, she just pretended that she was an actress as a child, and we were all so gullible to believe that she actually was. And I think it was like a Tuesday or something, and it was our class's turn to go in the gardening area, because we had a gardening area in our school where we would like pick out these weeds and stuff, and each class would do it each week, and it was our turn to do it. And I had this handful of weeds, and our little book bags were sitting in a row, and I thought it would be wonderful to have those handful of weeds and all those worms in that handful of weeds go into them. This is part 2 of the girl. So our book bags were all lined up in a nice row, and I had a handful of worms and weeds. I know, gross, right? But I was 5, and I was literally just thinking, wouldn't it be like such a cool thing if I could get my revenge on her for lying? So the teacher wasn't looking at this point, so I went over to where the book bags were with my handful of worms and weeds, and I put the worms and weeds in her book bag. I felt like such a rebel at that point, even though I have done way worse things in my life. That's pretty much what happened. But wait, there's more. So the teacher has to sign these like reading diary things to confirm that we like read these books about this Biff and this Chipper and whatever they were called. Chip, Bipper, Kipper, and you know those books. I can't remember what they're called. But those, and well, you'll have to wait and see part 3 of that wannabe actress girl. So I made sure that I was behind her in the line so that I could see everything that was about to go. And I was so excited, like, because I had never done anything. I was always like a good little kid in school. So it came to when she was just next in the line. And so she was just getting out her reading record. Thank you for whoever told me that that was what it was called. I couldn't remember. And the teacher just saw that her whole hand was covered in weeds and worms, and the teacher was like shouting. She was like, did you actually try and just make a massive mess? And well, it just the whole classroom completely erupted, because when the teacher shouts, it normally means that something bad is happening. So then loads of kids started like screaming, and then loads of kids started getting excited and thinking that there were like exciting things happening. But basically it was all a massive disaster. But
went into Emily's parents' bedroom, not Camila's. Sorry about the confusion on my last video. We see that Emily's dad wasn't there, and we start thinking that Emily's dad kidnapped Camila. Emily was bawling her eyes out. We were all super scared, and I had never been this scared in my entire life. Emily's dad was like a second dad to me, so I was super scared that I had been hanging around a kidnapper my entire life. Emily's mom woke up and said, what's going on? And we tell her this whole story, and she's like, girls, calm down. Camila went home. We were all like, wait, what? And she was like, go get some rest. I'll tell you tomorrow at breakfast. At breakfast, Emily's dad was back. He explained to us that Camila was scared of the dark and scared of sleeping at other people's houses. And she probably dropped the bucket of Twizzlers when she was getting up to go tell Emily's parents that she wanted to go home. Camila's fine now and everything.
part 4 of that wannabe actress. So, the teacher was shouting because now there were, like, worms on the floor and all the kids were getting excited. But then the girl was, like, so mad for some reason. Like, she was screaming at all the girls. She was demanding to know which one of us had done it. And I wasn't going to tell anyone that I'd done it because that was the whole point. I was going to be secretive, and it all erupted into chaos. The teacher was trying to like get the cleaning supplies and clean up the mess that was on the floor, and then loads of kids started running around. That actress girl was screeching at everybody, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen, right? So I just went to the girl. I said I was the one responsible for it, and oh my god, she lunged at me, grabbed a fistful of my hair, and nearly ripped it off. She didn't rip it off, but she literally drew blood on my head. Like, oh my god. And because she was attacking me, and then the teacher came.
Never had a situation like this, and we had practiced so many drills, if there's a bomb, we all go to the band lot. If there's a tornado, we all go to the basement. If there's a fire, we take these exits on this side. We always had a plan, and this was just something that we had never planned, and nobody was telling us anything. So eventually, they're texting their parents and calling their parents, and they're saying, do you know anything about this? And the parents are all freaking out, and some of the parents started listening to the police scanners, and it was getting back to us that there were ambulances outside of our school, and we're just like... And at this point, a lot of us are panicking because we think there's some type of shooter or something, because that makes sense. And finally, they just opened the doors and let us go. And they wouldn't tell us anything room for like hours. There's ambulances outside of our school, and you're just gonna let us go to our next class? So you can probably tell by the title of this video what happened. A girl died in class during school hours. And here's the story on that. So earlier in that day, around like first, second period, somebody sold her a bunch of Oxycontins. She, during school, took all of them. She ended up going to her 7th period class at 3rd period, and she walked in and the teacher was like, honey, what are you doing here? And she said, oh, I'm here for class. And the teacher was like, you're not here until later, honey. It's only 3rd period. And I wasn't here for this, but supposedly when she walked away, she said to somebody else, oh, she's on something, or she's drunk or something. But it was obvious that she was on something. So she went a couple classes later and she put her head down on the desk. She was sleeping, and she was just kind of one of those students who, you know, showed up late and slept in class. Obviously didn't show a ton of...
This is story time how I nearly killed my friend when I was 7. So basically what happened was we were playing football at break. There was no like teachers, you know, watching over us. And we're on that football pitch and everything, and we were playing football. And since it was quite, you know, quite a rich school, we had these proper goalposts, not like the plastic ones, like the ones you'd find on like professional like TV. They're the ones that like are pure metal and everything. And we had sandbags to hold them down. And when we were like still like setting up, warming up for a little game at break, so this girl, let's call her Madison, she was swinging on like the sides of the goal thing, and she kicked all the sandbags off the goal, okay? So let's skip. So we were playing football, and my friend, let's call her Amelia, she was the goalkeeper. And what happened was, I scored, and I ran into the goal celebrating. Because like the first time about me scoring, really, because I'm really bad at football. And you know what happened? The goal